After discussing some of the important principles, concepts, and definitions in engineering economics on the previous discussion, for this next topic, we will now discuss the concept of interest as well as a further discussion of the time value of money. The concept of the time value of money, money makes money. Basically, tulad ng binanggit natin last time, ang pinaka-value or the purchasing power of money can vary as time goes by. So kung umutang ka, yung babayaran mo in the future ay mas malaki. Kung nagpautang ka, basically, yung pinautang mo magkakaroon siya ng interest which will make the initial principal value bigger compared dun sa pinautang mo. So based on this definition, this is true because if we invest money today, by tomorrow we will have accumulated more money than what we had originally invested. And also, if you borrow money today, you will have to pay in the future an amount that is larger on what you have originally owed. So this change in the amount of money over a given time period is called the time value of money. So habang lumilipas yung panahon, basically is lumalaki or lumiliit yung value ng money. Now, the additional value earned is tinatawag natin siyang interest. So sa definition na to, interest is the amount of money paid for the use of borrowed capital or the income produced by money which has been loaned. So yung interest na to, ito yung additional na babayaran mo kung umutang ka, or ito yung additional na pera na makukuha mo naman kapag nagpautang ka. And this interest actually has different types. So unang klase ng interest, we have the simple interest. The simple interest is calculated using the principal only, ignoring any interest that had been accrued in preceding terms or periods. In practice, simple interest is paid on short-term loans in which the time of the loan is measured in days. So, uncommon kasi, meron tayong dalawang klase ng interest na we have the simple and the compound. So, unahin muna natin si simple interest kasi meron din siyang further classifications pa, no? Pero ang pinaka-characteristic ng isang simple interest, so yung interest na nakukuha ay naka-base only dun sa tinatawag nating principal. Now, this principal, this is the present value. So, kung umutang ka, kung gaano kalaki yung inutang mo, yun yung principal. Let's say, umutang ka ng 100,000, yun yung present value or yung principal. Ibig sabihin, yung interest na babayaran will only be based on that 100,000. Unlike kay compound interest later on, so meron tayong tinatawag kasi na compounding periods, no? So, the compounding periods, basically, within that specific period, doon nag-generate ng interest. So, kay simple interest, regardless kung ano yung mangyari or gaano katagal yung loan na nangyari, ang interest ay laging naka-base dun sa pinakaunang amount na inutang or pinautang natin. Now, ito yung pinaka-formula ng simple interest. So that's I is equal to P times I times N. So yung ating future amount naman, ito kasi na-derive siya. So yung tinatawag nating P dyan, ito yung principal. So, ito yung P natin. Now, this F naman, this is the future value. Now, si future value, yan yung pinakababayaran mo kasama niyo yung interest. So, by formula, aside from this na na-derive, si future value or future amount, that's the pinagsamang principal plus the interest na na-generate. Now, dito, sa formula nating una, since I is equals to PIN, so pwede nating palitan yung I dito. So pwede nating express siya as F is equals to P plus PIN. Wherein ito, algebra lang, no? Pinactor out natin yung P from these two terms. So that's P, 1 plus IN. So kaya ito yung formula natin, no? Pero in general, you can use this pinaka-concept naman ng future amount. So, principal plus the interest earned. So, ito yung ibig sabihin, no, ng mga parameters na nandyan. So I is the interest, P is the principal, N is the number of interest period, I is the rate of interest per interest period, and F is the accumulated amount. Now, what I want you to look is dito kay N. So si N kasi naka-specify dyan na per year siya. So dito kay simple interest, sabi sa definition natin, it is paid on short-term loans. So usually, measured in days. So kung sa isang taon, merong 365 days and so on. So meron kasi tayong dalawa pang classification na pagdating kay simple interest. So meron tayong tinatawag na ordinary, meron ding exact. So dito muna tayo kay ordinary simple interest. So si ordinary simple interest is actually based dun sa tinatawag nating banker year or banker's year. So kay banker's year, basically, sa isang taon, meron ka lang 360 days. Which is in contrast, di ba, in actual naman talaga, it's either merong 365 or 366 kapag leap year. Pero kapag kay banker year kasi, ang consideration natin, lahat ng buwan ay 30 days. And then sa isang taon, meron tayong 12 months. So basically, that's 12 times 30. Kaya siya 360 days lang. So that's yung tinatawag nating banker's year. So, kapag banker's year, sa isang taon, 12 months, isang buwan, 30 days lahat, regardless kung anong buwan siya, and then sa isang taon, 360 days. Now, kung babalikan natin, di ba yung formula natin ng I, this is P-I-N. So, yung I natin, that's usually expressed in terms of percent. Pero kung gagamitin natin siya sa pinaka-formula, dapat yung nakadecimal siya, no? And then, dito kay N, so let's say, ang interest period ng isang investment is, say, 14 months. So, yung N natin is 14 months, for example. So, yung 14 months na yan, di ba sabi dun sa pinaka-definition natin, dun sa previous na slide, N must be expressed in terms of year. So, kung year yan, tapos ang given na value ng N is 14 months, ang gagawin natin, si N, express natin to as a fraction ng 1 year. So, sa isang taon, merong 12 months, diba? So, ang mangyayari, sasalpak natin sa formula, this will be P times I, tapos ang N natin, that's 14 months over 12 months. So, express lang natin siya in terms of a fraction ng 12 months. And that's kapag ordinary simple interest siya, no? So, ito yung gagamitin natin. In contrast, pagdating dito kay exact, so, hindi siya approximated na 30 days lahat. Ang gagamitin natin is yung sakto. For example, January, 31 days. So, 31 ang gagamitin natin for January. So, dito, it's either 365 days for an ordinary year or 366 days kapag leap year naman. So, dito, ang leap year natin, it occurs every 4th year. Ibig sabihin, ng palatandaan, pwede nating tignan yung pinakataon. So, for example, ngayon, 2026. So, si 2026 ba, divisible by 4 in 2026. So, kapag hindi siya leap year. So, kung titignan nyo yung kalendaryo natin this year, it's basically 28 days lang yung February. So, nagiging 29 siya kapag leap year. Ngayon, dito kay leap year, meron kasing common na nakakalimutang kumbaga limiting, hindi naman siya limiting value, no? Pero another criteria how to classify a leap year. So, minsan kasi ang alam lang ng iba, basta divisible by 4 yung taon. Pero meron pa tayong exemption dyan, no? So, hindi kasama yung mga century years na hindi divisible by 400. So, ang leap year lang basically divisible by 4 tapos century years na divisible by 400. So, ang tinutukoy nating century years dito, say for example, 2000, 1900s, or diba, 1800s, pwede rin naman the following, 2100 year. So, etong mga taon na to, ito yung mga tinatawag nating century years, no? Basta yung 00 yung dulo ng taon. Ngayon, ang leap year lang dito supposed to be, ito kasi, pag century years, matic divisible by 4 siya. Pero, dito sa apat na nilagay kong example, ang leap year lang is actually si 2000. So, si 1900s, 1800s, 2100s, although divisible by 4 yung mga taon na to, they are not considered century years. So, ang mga century, and they are not considered leap years. Ang considered lang na leap year ay ang mga taon, for example, 2000, 2,400, pwedeng sama dito si 19,600, masyado na malaki. Say, diba? 1600s, 14, hindi pala, 1200s, yan. So, yung mga century years lang na yan ang leap year. Pero etong si 1900s, 1800s, even si 1500s, hindi sila mga leap year.